Coors Field could be one of the most unforgiving and cruel fields for a pitcher to pitch on, and the Rockies have been the unfortunate inheritors of those conditions for their entire existence. The 2011 Rockies were no different, having a staff ERA that was 15th of 16 in the National League. One part of that staff, however small, was Alan Johnson, who had to bear the brunt of Coors during his one-game career.
Johnson had an unorthodox start to his career, pitching at Mississippi State but going undrafted. He was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Colorado Rockies in 2005, starting in a system where it would be an uphill climb for the righty, being placed on the Casper Rockies in the Pioneer League. Johnson pitched to a solid 3.97 ERA across 15 starts in Casper. He continued to climb up the Rockies ladder, joining the A-level Asheville Tourists, where he would have another solid showing. 2007 would be the best season in terms of Johnson's pitching development, as he pitched at 2 stops in Single-A Modesto and Double-A Tulsa. He pitched to a 2.77 ERA across 28 starts, including allowing no runs in 13 1/3 innings at Tulsa. The next 3 seasons would not be great for Johnson, but there's an explanation for that. After a mediocre season in Tulsa recording a 5.23 ERA over 28 starts, he was jetted to Colorado Springs in the Pacific Coast League for the 2009 season. Further mediocrity ensued, pitching in the hitter-friendly PCL with the team in very thin air to a 5.66 ERA.
Following that, Johnson would record a disastrous 2-game stint in the Venezuelan Winter League, allowing 9 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Spending another season in Colorado Springs, Johnson once again had an inflated ERA, 5.91 at another year in AAA. However, he must have been good enough for the Rockies, who kept him on the back burner early in 2011. When Greg Reynolds was sent down, Alan Johnson came up. The Rockies were absolutely cooking to begin the 2011 regular season, starting 12-3 and crushing on all cylinders. They were coming off of a 4-game sweep of the Mets at Citi Field where they won 3 games by 1 run, and after dropping the second game of their series against the Cubs, they were looking to win yet another series in the early portion of the season. The Cubs entered Coors Field after taking 2 of 3 from the Astros in Houston. I just want to give a quick shout out to the days of the Astros in the NL Central. The Rockies called on the 27-year-old Johnson to start a game against the Chicago Cubs. Alan Johnson towed the rubber against Ryan Dempster for an unassuming pitching matchup, with Johnson making his MLB debut.
Alan Johnson's start was not great, but it also wasn't good either. He faced off against Starlin Castro for his first batter, who proceeded to lash a single into left field. No big deal, it was just a single. Known elite hitter Darwin Barney followed with yet another hard-hit single, and that pushed Castro to third. All Johnson needed was to record an out, so why not record 2? Marlon Byrd grounded into a run-scoring double play, which is just what the doctor ordered for Alan Johnson. Johnson induced a soft groundout from Aramis Ramirez to end the inning, which was not too shabby of a first inning in the major leagues, escaping with much less damage than what could have happened and only throwing 14 pitches. The Rockies rewarded Alan Johnson with a 3-run cushion after the first inning, tattooing Ryan Dempster. Carlos Gonzalez and Todd Helton each had an RBI hit, and Seth Smith cranked a 2-run shot to center field, which was not bad for a response from the Rockies, who gave Alan Johnson a lead to work with. While he was rewarded with the lead, Johnson did nothing with it. The next inning would be a slog for Johnson. After a leadoff walk, he recorded his first major league strikeout on Alfonso Soriano, who was an elite hitter, and a good job for him to get that first strikeout out of the way. However, a wild pitch and an RBI double made the score 4-2. After a scoreless inning from the Rockies, Johnson would give all the runs back in the bottom half of the third, allowing a walk, a single, a strikeout, and then a single and a groundout that scored 2 runs from Aramis Ramirez and Carlos Pena, respectively. Dempster got the first 1-3 inning of the game, and Johnson was not as lucky. Starlin Castro hit an RBI double, and the Cubs led again. Despite the Rockies tying the game in the next inning, Jim Tracy had seen enough, pulling Johnson for Matt Belisle. Johnson's final line: 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 wild pitch, and a 9 ERA. 12 days later, Johnson would be sent down, spending the rest of the season in Colorado Springs and never making it back to the major leagues. He would not be signed to another contract, instead spending the following 2 seasons in the independent leagues with the Lancaster Barnstormers, not pitching much better. He had a 4.57 ERA in 2012 and a ghastly 8.02 ERA in 2013, ending his career shortly after. This game ultimately would not matter, as the Rockies faded down the stretch, finishing 4th in the NL West. The Cubs also finished in the cellar of the NL Central. Neither team surpassed 80 wins. A player can get into a baseball game in several ways. Johnson got a spot start, it was not great, and he never made it back to the major leagues, making that his 1-game career.